Hey guys, how you doing? I'm going to show you how to make a roof rack for your Subaru Outback Wilderness for 30 bucks, okay? Because if you guys ever tried to buy a roof rack thing, like one of these, this is a cheap one. It's a Thule, whatever they call themselves, and it's got these like plastic things that go on your racks, and then this contraption. It's a pain in the ass to put each one in, and you need a key. And then you have, this one is just a bar, but they have other ones, and then you can attach things like, I want to attach a kayak, so I have, like this is going to attach on there, and it's going to wobble around. I'm not really sure how it's going to attach, and then I've got this thing that's supposed to, you use it for kayaks, and I mean the bracket under there looks like it's designed for a 2x4, but if you put it on this thing, it's supposed to somehow stay on there, and it's going to wobble around, isn't it? And anyway, so that's not very good. This thing was 350 bucks like 10 years ago. So I made this for my Nissan Xterra. I used to have a Nissan Xterra, and this is like a 2x4 with some hardware, and this worked perfectly on a Nissan Xterra with the tubes that it has on top. Boom, bolted on. This is 15 years old, and this cost me, two of them, 15 bucks to make. And I loaded kayaks and paddle boards and all sorts of stuff. Now on top of the Subaru, you have these nice bars that are rated to carry quite a bit of weight, but when you zoom in on them, they're not round, and they're square on the bottom, but they're not flat. So if you buy a certain bracket like I did, like this one, it'll go on there, but it doesn't go straight up and down. It's on an angle. If you want to get it a flush mount there and use a 2x4. So I had to pre-draw the angle on there on the 2x4 when I lined it up on top of the car. And I put these holes in there so that these things will fit perfectly in there. And I'm going to show you how these line up perfectly on top of the roof rails that are on top of the Subaru. I did some practice drilling here first, right? I used my drill and an assortment of bits. You gotta use the little bits first and slowly work your way up. If you try and drill the hole with the big bit on it, you can't just drill the big hole first. You got to drill a pilot hole, and these are drilled perfectly there and perfectly there after I've measured them on the car, and I end up with something like this. Let me show you. This is the first set that I built up here. Let me show you closely on the car what it's going to look like. I've got a bar, the nuts, and those tension washers. I'm going to trim these back with an angle iron so I don't poke my kayak. And one kayak's going to go in the middle on those two, and then two are going to go in the ends here. Now I'm going to trim this off when I decide how much. No, I'm not going to leave them this wide. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to see how much, probably out to here. I actually went to a proper rack shop where they sell Thule and Rhino and a couple of other brand names, and I asked for something that would handle the weight of 3 kayaks and attach to those Subaru Outback Wilderness rails. And they showed me this, the ones with the little rubber thing that holds on, they can only hold something like 150 pounds dynamically, and I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to lose my load. But they had this more expensive one that clamps on. It didn't look like it would hold, it just clamps. There's just a little hook like this, and it clamps on. $750 for a Rhino rack, and it's about that wide, and it's kind of aerodynamic, so that if you leave them on, I guess they're not as noisy. It's partly metal, partly plastic. 750 bucks. Well, I tell you, I bought 2, 4, 6, 8 of these at $3 each. What's that? 24, 25 bucks, and 2 2x4s. Which were $3 each, so let's call it 30, 35 bucks. 15 years ago, it cost me 15 bucks to make a rack, and now it's going to cost me 35 bucks. So the price has gone up. It's doubled in price. I'm going to have a roof rack on my Subaru Outback Wilderness that can carry way more than any Rhino rack for 35 bucks instead of 750 bucks. And all you need is for tools is a drill, some 2x4s, some drill bits, and maybe a grinding tool to shorten these, because I could only find these Maybe you can find something that's a little shorter that works better. Look how much more solid these things connect onto a 2x4, like something like that. Now if you're going to connect it on one of those little bars or a little aerodynamically shaped kind of plastic metal thing, I mean, this just looks a lot more solid to me. And the 2x4 is $3.50. They build houses out of these. If you look at the roof rack of the Outback and you put this on there, right? If they go straight up, your only connection is on that one point right there. And there's a gap on the other side, just connecting there. And if you're an engineer, you don't like that, right? You want it to be like this, so that the connection point is the full bottom, not like that. That's when you're only connecting one point like that, it takes all the stress and it's going to fail. You want it to be like that. So these things have to be put on an angle. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it on these ones, right? I don't know why they have this rack on here, and it's space age designed with a stupid 25-degree angle on the bottom. I guess because they don't want people to make their own $25 racks. They want you to buy the $750 Thule or Rhino rack. But I figured it out, and this is a good attachment here. I'll tighten these up and I'll trim these off. Okay, so I got the two of them on there, but here's something that you should know if you buy a Subaru, and I just found this out on the weekend when I had my paddle boards on here, okay, with that Thule $350 rack. And the one thing that surprised me, because on my Nissan Xterra, it was old, so when you open the back hatch, you do it manually, and I could lift it up until, imagine if you have some long paddle boards that stick out past the back of your car, right? I could open the rear and just open it enough so I can get some stuff out of the back without smashing the paddle boards. But this dumb thing, check this out. Now it's all remote control now, right? So you do this, and if you have anything up there, if you have anything on top of your car like a surfboard or a paddle board, that this thing's going to hit it, and it goes up automatically and it'll hit it, and you'll smash this thing, and it might, because the leverage on this, if it hits something hard, you're going to damage it, and then it'll probably close. It'll say, oh, we hit something, it'll probably close, because it's all automatic, right? Because when you go to the grocery store, you want to be able to, oh, I just wave my hand here and it opens for me so I can hold my groceries and watch my baby at the same time, right? Whatever stupid idiot that designed this. So I can't open it like part way to get anything out of the back if I have something on, like a kayak or a canoe or a paddleboard on top of the Outback Wilderness. You know, you're supposed to Outback Wilderness. You want to go in the Outback with your wilderness, with your canoe and your paddleboard, but don't try and open the back hatch when there's something on there, or you'll smash it or damage your car, because this car is designed for someone that goes to the grocery store and wants to automatically open the back without having to expend the energy of doing this. That's too hard. Oh, and then to close it, I just wave my hand at it instead of doing this. It's too hard for people these days to do this and this. So they've got an automatic design here that's going to destroy your car if you've got a canoe or a kayak or a surfboard on top. If you got a canoe or a kayak or a surfboard or some lumber or something, and it's still on there, you have to get in here to get your stuff. You can't go in the back. Way to go, Subaru. So I've changed it to my travel clothes now. Just a few more straps to adjust, but this is what it looks like now. The big bad Subaru carrying 3 ocean kayaks. Let me give you a closer look. I put the Thule in the middle. I'm going to put another strap around here. What do you think? $35. I'll do another video of if they fall off on the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Wish me luck. I'm traveling about 1,000 kilometers to put these things in the Pacific Ocean. Leave some comments. I'll catch you on the next one.